So, okay, let's go ahead and minimize this. Minimize this. And so let's see, where are we? Okay, all right. So we go to the exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne Prime. Okay, so I cut and paste some of these to get to my point of the new thing that we just found out about. Okay, and so the exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne Prime is 353. 353 is the sum of the frequencies of Ha plus Meme in chapter 42. 353rd happy prime is 179.11. The Emirp of 179 is an Emirp, and its Emirp is 11971. Happens to be the 729th Gaussian prime. But it happens that 729 prime is 5519. 5519th composite is 6346. 6346 is the total number of verses, including the 112 unnumbered opening statements in the entire Quran. Okay? So you see, it directly connects 353 to this, the total number of verses in the Quran. Okay? And so then we look at chapter 55, verse 19, and we find out it's 1273rd prime number verse in the Quran. And we find out that 1273rd mention of the word God is in verse 9127. 729th quad prime happens to be 44959. 44 has 59 verses. Smoke has 59 verses, chapter 44. 4459 composite is 5145. 5145 composite is 5924, and Surah 59 has 24 verses. Now, remember now, this verse, the verse number, which is sequential verse number 5145, is that verse in chapter 59, verse 21, okay, which has its own mathematical things that I'm not going to talk about it now, but we've talked about it before. It's actually 3 times 7 times 7 times 5 times 7, with the indices of 2, 4, 4, 3, 4. These are the 5 daily contact prayers, and that's why I keep emphasizing the contact prayers. Okay? We know a lot more now, and we have to pay attention to this. Okay, so why did he write it 3 times 7 times 7 times 5 times 7? Why did he write 3 times 5 times 7 times 7 times 7? The reason behind it is that this number 37757 is 17 times 2221. 2221 happens to be the 67th super prime. The word Salaat is mentioned 67 times in the Quran, and there are 17 daily units of Salaat. Okay? So you have a reason why you're doing this. Don't be bored. Don't do it lazily, because now you have this knowledge. You've had it before, maybe you forgot, so we'll mention it again. Okay? So, come down here. These two that I have increase the font size. 5519's regular prime happens to be 94621, but 94621 is the 9127th prime number. We are back to 9127. Okay. So what that 5519 tells you, we go up here, 5519, see? 5519 that generates the total number of verses, which is 6346. It tells you that in that scheme of 6346, the number of verses in chapter 9 is 127 verses, according to what I have in here in boldface in this scheme that I have it in here. As I said, I increased the font size so you can see it better. Okay. All right. Now, we continue. Again, the exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne Prime. I put it in a different way in here. The exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne Prime is 353. 353 happens to be the sum frequency of half plus mim chapter 42. Now that we know about regular primes, 353rd regular prime is 4253. Chapter 42 has 53 verses. Okay? And you know another thing about this, that 53 actually, which is the number of verses in that chapter, happens to be the number of has in that chapter. Okay? Okay. 353rd composite happens to be 438. 438 composite happens to be 538. 538 non-Chen prime is 9127. Okay? So what's new? There we go. 438's additive prime is 6841. Notice 6841. 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 4 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Additive prime is that when you add up the number of digits, it adds up to a prime number. Okay, so 19 is a prime number. So 6841 happens to be the 532nd regular prime. Okay? Remember we talked about 532? Okay? There are a lot more about 532 that I haven't talked about yet. It has to do with the twin prime companions. Okay? And I haven't talked about it. As I said, this is a unique number in mathematics. A very unique number in mathematics. Okay? I talked about that many, many years ago. Okay? And so I want this to basically sink in, that this is a unique, and that's why if you read that chapter, okay, if you read chapter 89, okay, when God actually swears by the even and the odd, so it says, let's see, 89:3. There we are. Okay, God, I'm going to read the first 5 verses, numbered verses. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. By the dawn, by the 10 nights, okay, by the even and the odd, by the night as it passes, should it not be an oath for those who possess intelligence? Okay. This is what God is saying. God is taking an oath by these. Okay. Anyway, so let me go back to it. Okay. So 532nd composite happens to be 651, which then after that 651st composite happens to be 790. 790th verse containing the word God is 9127. 790th lonely prime happens to be 9619, and Surah 96 has 19 verses. Okay. It always connects the 9127 in something which is there is no argument about. The fact that chapter 96 has 19 verses is no argument, but it tells you that if that is 96 has 19 verses, then 9 is supposed to have 127 verses. That's what it tells you. 790 in base 19 is 2698 in base 10. 2698 is the frequency of the word God in the entire Quran. Okay? Is that amazing? Okay? You put these stuff together and you say, oh my God, you know, it's absolutely mind-boggling that this is happening this way. Okay? That everything is precisely numbered. And these numbers are eternal and they're not going to change. Okay. He's given you a blueprint of how he's creating things. Okay. And these creations that I just told you, these are not based on mathematical equations. Okay. Remember in 1785, we just read it. He tells us that, look, what is given to you from knowledge is minute. Okay. But he's shown us these windows to beautiful paradise that says, look, this is the way things are done. Precisely. Okay. And only God knows it. And that's the beauty of all of these things that we witness every week. Okay. And by God's grace, He has kept us in line. Let's put it that way. And and we don't waste our time. We are eager to learn these things. Okay. We come cheerfully. We do our contact prayer cheerfully. Okay, because we know we're supposed to do it. It's good for us. Okay. But then again, there are some people who are basically on self-destruct mode. People who are abusing their body, smoking and doing drugs and all kinds of stuff. Those are the people who just, basically, on the wrong path, and that's what they're doing. They're on self-destruct mode. And this is another way of self-destruct mode, that you reject these things, that you don't like it. So you think if you stay away from it, it's just going to go away. And this bullet here, 790 in base 19 is 2698 in base 10. It's just going to go away. That's not going to go away. It's how numbers are designed by God. They're just going to do that all the time for eternity. Okay. So again, let's thank God for this, and may He keep us on the right path, that we do not lose this eagerness that we have about these things. Okay, and we learn more, and we'll be happier, inshallah. And so we always look at the future in a hopeful way. Okay. So I'm going to stop here, and we'll finish our Jum'ah. Allahumma kabir.